the lab environment is hazardous by nature, the actual risk is largely determined by you and those working with you. It's your responsibility to know and follow the rules and be able to recognize potential safety hazards. The first consideration is proper dress. What you wear in the lab can help prevent serious, even fatal injuries. Often, you'll be working with chemicals that could harm you if they come into contact with your skin. So the best way to prevent skin exposure is to wear clothes that cover your entire body. Shorts and sandals leave your skin exposed, so instead, wear long pants and closed-toed shoes. Remove jewelry before entering the lab and tie back long hair. Bring only the things that you need into the lab. Leave all personal items like backpacks, purses, or jackets outside so they don't become contaminated. Now that you're properly dressed for the lab, let's take a look at personal protective equipment, or PPE. For general lab work, a lab coat, safety glasses or goggles, and gloves are required. Always button your coat and try to keep the cuffs tucked into your glove. Always remove PPE and wash your hands before leaving the lab and entering public areas. And be aware that you can spread chemical or biological contamination by touching items such as light switches, doorknobs, or even phones while your gloves are still on. Dressing for the lab and wearing personal protective equipment will minimize the risk for exposure or harm, but clothing and PPE aren't enough to keep you safe. We'll take a closer look at safety equipment in our next lesson. It's inevitable. Accidents will happen in the laboratory. Accidents, by definition, are unforeseen, but your knowledge of lab safety will help minimize the likelihood of accidents. And in this lesson, we'll talk about safety equipment found in the lab. These items may help you save a life if and when an accident occurs. When working in a lab for the first time, look around and identify the location of the safety equipment. Every lab must contain a safety shower and eye wash station. Another helpful piece of safety equipment is the chemical fume hood. It's a ventilated, enclosed work area that protects you from toxic vapors. Turn on the exhaust fan. Make sure the hood is venting properly. The opening is covered by a window called a sash, which can be raised and lowered. For most applications, the sash should be open to either 8 or 16 inches. Never store chemicals under the hood, and always clean and remove materials when you're finished working. Test your safety equipment regularly to make sure each item is ready in case there's an emergency. Respect the lab and respect your colleagues. Your behavior goes a long way to ensuring that the lab is a safe environment for everyone. The first consideration is to follow the written standard operating procedures step by step. Never eat, drink, chew gum, or apply makeup while in the lab. You don't want to contaminate your skin or risk ingesting poisonous chemicals. You could also contaminate your experiment and ruin the results. Never work alone. Always have at least one other person in the lab so that you can help each other in case of an emergency. Good housekeeping will prevent accidents too. A cluttered lab is a dangerous lab. Dispose of any trash or debris on the floor which could cause someone to fall. Never place any chemical bottles on the floor, not even temporarily. If you do make a spill, check the safety data sheet for the appropriate response. For a routine spill, clean it immediately and place a wet floor sign. Keep your workbench clean and organized. Have only the materials you need. Store away all unneeded items. Don't place materials near the edge of the workbench where they can easily be knocked off. Never try to pick up broken glass with your bare hands. A cut or puncture caused by broken glass may introduce a hazardous chemical directly into your bloodstream. Dispose the glass in a designated broken glass container. After you've finished an experiment, wash and dry glassware. Return reagents to the storage area and clean the workbench surface with ethanol or isopropyl alcohol. If a safety violation occurs or you notice any unsafe condition in the lab, report it immediately to your supervisor. Be on your best behavior.